Identity rights are important for the child, you know, to be able to develop self. And I can give you a practical example because we work on various issues pertaining to children where I work. We had a few cases where children were acting up and end up in the care system. And there was one particular case where there was a boy that we intervened in this case, and we went to sit with him and interview him about what was wrong, why was he behaving, how can we help him. And he told us the story of how he's in a family where their mom adopted 4 of them, 4 different, you know, children from different families. And that 3 of his siblings, adopted siblings, knew who their biological family were. They could trace them, they found them. But he feels like he's a nobody because even though the adoptive mom has loved them and all that, he can never find out who are his biological family, who does he look like, and all those things. So when we look at it from, in that context of adoption, you can see how a child feels that it doesn't matter how much love you give me, how much, you know, there's something missing. So we must recognize it as the right of the children and how they feel and how they form identity. And I don't think we're doing enough to actually highlight that because there are people who think, well, what is genetic, what is origin, why does it matter? And we need to start telling these stories so that they understand it. In the context of ART, I think there is a challenge in that there's also a commercialization of egg donations and all those things, and sometimes I do wonder whether people understand that what they're giving is not just egg, or, you know, there is a child that's going to be born out of that, and there we need to tap into that. We're not saying that you know, potentially we must do away with donation, but people must be fully aware that there's a live person who's going to come out of that donation. And what does that mean for that person? You know, a lot of people we know who are born through donor conception have said, well, I realized I didn't look like anybody in my family. That's already telling you that in as much as they're loved and all that, they notice those kind of things. And then they start wondering, who do I look like, you know? And people need to sit up, and we need to do more research about it, but we also need to do more awareness and minimize this bit of objectifying the process for donation, because it's just seen as, oh, it's just a process. And then at the end, after years, there is a person who was born through that process who you need to give answers to. And we shouldn't wait for there to start trying to make amends. Right at the point of donation, we should be already safeguarding the interests of the person that's going to be born.